I know y'all don't like that. I know y'all don't like that. We tried to tell, the LDBC tried to tell y'all this was gonna happen. We tried to tell y'all. We've been telling you dudes for 5 years that these two popcorn Pop-Tart farts, these two fruity fecal matter fruitcakes, we told you that these two idiots was gonna be the death of HBO boxing, and boy were we right. Look at the screen. Look at these two silly bastards that you see on the screen. You got one Jim Lampley and one Larry Merchant. These two are the guys that is responsible for destroying HBO. They single-handedly took down a boxing giant. I mean, how you gonna explain this? You know, and many of you, you European fans that you love European fighters, but you hate American black fighters. We know you guys do because, well, I got all the racial comments that you said to me to prove it. I mean, I do. I do. Darn shame, too. Darn shame. But now, you guys are going to come on here and say, see, you're not a boxing fan. Why are you upset? Why are you laughing at this? Why are you really making fun of it? Because, listen, had this would have been PBC, we know good and well that you guys would have been having a field day right now. Then who's to say, man? PBC might be next. Who knows? But I'm worried about the here and now. I'm worried about the here and now. I'm not worried about the why and the then. I'm worried about the here and the now. Because we talking about HBO boxing. But had this would have been PBC and Showtime, oh, y'all dudes would have been laughing. Y'all be on here talking about, yeah, well, PBC was ruining boxing. See, that's what y'all would have came up with. Y'all would have came up with that narrative. Like, you guys, you defended a lot of the actions of these two idiots. Y'all defended it. Like when Larry Merchant went in on Floyd Mayweather, man, and it used to amaze me, man, what kind of crap Larry Merchant used to get away with, man. These fighters, man, they've been in wars, man. And then you got this idiot asking them dumb questions, man. Stupid questions, incoherent babble and all kind of dumb stuff. And then, the one thing that disgusted me with Larry Merchant, and I really, he was making fun of Devin Alexander. He was mocking his speech. Because Devin Alexander talked funny, but Larry Merchant on national TV mocked Devin Alexander's speech, man. And I'm like, did he just mock the man's speech? He did. And, I'm like, see, Larry Merchant can get away with murder, man. He did whatever he wanted to do. Consistently insulted these fighters over and over and over again. And then Jim Lampley, that stupid show, The Fight Game, okay, that was nothing but a European cesspool. That's all that was. Okay, it was a European cesspool. And again, when he got on the show, they completely, just really went in on black fighters, American black fighters. He did it constantly. Okay, they pissed off Floyd Mayweather, because these guys that Larry Merchant do and say, like, Larry Merchant was more valuable to HBO than Floyd Mayweather. And I knew when Floyd Mayweather left, I just knew it was a matter of time before the ship began to sink. And that's what happened. That's what happened. And fighters, man, fighters don't really want to be on that network. They pissed Andre Ward off, man. You sitting here talking junk about the man. The man got to, he got to do a broadcast on the show. And they sitting here talking about him, talking about he not that good, talking about he wasn't number one pound for pound. They kept trying to put Vasily Lomachenko. They kept trying to put Triple G with his stupid self. And forget Triple G. And I don't care nothing about you Triple G fans. Coming in, man, you can't talk about Gennady. I just did. What are you going to do about it? Do something. Do something. You ain't going to do nothing, okay? You going to watch the video, and either you going to like it or not like it. I don't care. You going to still watch the video because you're too stupid not to watch the video. That's what's wrong with y'all. Y'all got a problem of watching videos you don't like. So, you finna get this work. You finna get this work, and you going to keep listening because you addicted to it like crack cocaine. So, enough of that. But I tell you what, though. I tell you what. This is going to be good for PBC and Showtime. But, now my brother Jeff at Dream Chasing Boxing, I gotta agree with the brother. I gotta agree with him for one thing. If Showtime, PBC, and ESPN, all these places, man, if they don't give us the best fights, the same thing going to happen to them. The exact same. And I got to keep it real, okay? If we don't get the best fights, see, let me elaborate more on what Jeff said about, fights in MMA and specifically in the UFC. See, this is the thing, man. And I'm going to tell you why the UFC, they can go through new ownership. They can acquire new fighters. The UFC can continue to do this. Because, see, they have a loyal fan base. And the fan bases are loyal because the fights are what we want to see. See, I don't feel like I'm cheated if I buy a UFC pay-per-view. I mean, I don't feel like I've been cheated. I feel like actually I got my money's worth. I ain't really seen too many boring, UFC pay-per-views. Not too many. There's been a few. But then, you got other fights on the card that make up for it. Because the matchmaking in the UFC, they carefully make the matches. They make the matches and they make them competitive, and they got a system that they use. Or, you know what they do, man? They listen to the fans. See, that's where MMA, that's where they've actually evolved. They learn how to listen to the fans. And if the fans are really high up on a fight, guess what? Guess what Dana White do? They make the fight. See, it's just that simple. I don't have to like everything that Dana White do. I don't, see, the problem is the UFC and where MMA, they fan friendly. Okay? It's not fighter friendly because the fighters don't make no money. Okay? They don't make no money, and you got to deal with a load of racism. I'm going to tell you that now. You deal with more racism in MMA than you do in boxing. I mean, I know I do anyway. But, the fact that we get the fights that we want to see, that all balances everything out. And it's balanced that you can sit and you can watch it. You're not going to want to go away and go get something to eat. You're going to sit there and watch your whole pay-per-view. And even the fight nights on the UFC, even when they do fight nights, even when they do that, man, those are very competitive. You seeing the best fight the best. And you would think boxing would just really go figure this out. But no, you got idiots. Even in this Wilder Joshua, that the fact that Wilder Joshua hadn't fought, that's hurt boxing. It's hurt the brand of boxing. Because these two guys, you got one fighter who don't want to get in the ring, but then you got fans defending why he shouldn't get in the ring with Wilder. Like, dumbest thing I ever heard. These dudes don't want to see the fight. You think they want to see the fight, but they don't want to see the fight. Everybody got a gang of excuses. Everybody, giving AJ all these excuses. They don't want to fight. Then you got, Errol Spence Jr., you got Terrence Crawford. Okay, these dudes act like they don't want no smoke with either of the two. They don't act like they want no smoke. And also, too, let me elaborate, too. The UFC fighters, or, MMA fighters in general, these people, they like the fans. They like the casual fans because they understand that casual fans and underground hardcore fans means money. See, these MMA fighters, they pay attention to their hardcore fans. You got their managers, man, running around YouTube and they looking for anybody who's promoting their fighters, who got good things to say. And they'll come and chop it up. These fighters, they'll come on. I done had multiple MMA fighters come chop it up with me. I done had multiple MMA fighters call me behind the scene. Okay, talk to me and just to chop it up. They stay in touch with the hardcore fan. Boxing don't give two craps about the hardcore fans. They don't care about the hardcore fans. They don't care about hardcore fans because they think fans are just, buckets of money. But this stuff coming to an end. And if this ain't a wake-up call for all these fighters, Showtime Shawn Porter, Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, Anthony Joshua, if this ain't a wake-up call for these guys, I don't know what is, man. This is a wake-up call. Because, see, let me tell you, if these fights, if they continue to persist, and if these fights continue to be the fights that we don't want to see, boxing as a whole, the money's going to drop in boxing. And these guys, they ain't going to be making the money they want to make. And you're going to see some of these guys trying to transition over into MMA, but it's going to be too late for that. See, you see some MMA guys that are transitioning over into boxing because the pay is better. That's going to dry up. But you got these two right here to think, though. These two right here, you got them to think for completely destroying HBO boxing. See, they had their agendas, man. And they kept pressing their agendas and they were successful. They kept their agendas very, very active, and people followed their agendas. They rolled in with their agendas. But it's just one thing, man. Now people going to understand that, the money is not in Europe. The money's in America. The money's in America. The money's in America, the proof in the pudding. What do ESPN and what do Showtime, what boxers are they showcasing? They're showcasing American fighters. They have some foreigners on there, but for the most part, they're showcasing American fighters. I wonder, and then people, want to have there and tell me that AJ gets more viewership than Deontay Wilder, which is stupid. But this is where boxing is headed. The sport of boxing as a whole, when the money dry out, you're going to have all these guys, and then they're going to wish they would have fought each other. You got Sean Porter don't want to fight Errol Spence. You got Errol Spence don't want to fight Terrence Crawford. You got Terrence Crawford don't want to fight Errol Spence. You got Keith Thurman Keith Thurman want to fight Sean Porter and Danny Garcia again for another fight, but then he don't want to fight Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence. He keeps saying these guys ain't done enough, man. But Errol Spence Jr. got a belt. Terrence Crawford got a belt. Well, one of them guys, Errol Spence got him a belt. He got the IBF belt. But that's not an attractive enough offer to get the guy to get Keith Thurman in the ring. See, man, all this stuff is like a big old soap opera. It's a big old soap opera. And unfortunately, boxing loses when we don't get these fights, when they let the fights, quote unquote, marinate. Okay, you can keep letting them marinate, but eventually, you know what? The UFC, man, and MMA in general, it's going to take over, and they're going to get some of these boxing fans who just, look, I just want to see a good scrap. They're going to come over to MMA, and they're going to start watching MMA. That's what, I mean, honestly, that's part of the reason why I commentate on MMA so much. That's why. That's why, because I got sick of not seeing the fights I want to see. I got sick of that, man. I got sick of, seeing Danny Garcia fight all these Rod Salkers, man. You get sick of these kind of matchups. Like, who's going to win before they walk to the ring, man. And then, the frequency of the fights not happening fast enough. It's like we doing fantasy matchup videos. And you know what? And the number of videos in the boxing community, they've decreased. Because there's not enough fighting going on. It's too many people. We're sitting back. We're trying to get these fantasy matchups. We're making videos about if this fight. We're supposed to be doing post-fight analysis videos. We're supposed to be doing, breakdown prediction videos. But who the hell wants to do a prediction for a fight that we probably know not going to happen? I don't do them. I don't do a lot of boxing predictions. I don't do that because I know the fights ain't going to happen for another 2 years. And then you got guys leaving their prime, man. You got guys literally leaving their prime. Okay, like in 5 years, these guys out their prime. Because they fighting once a year. Ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. But congratulations to Larry Merchant and Jim Lampley for single-handedly destroying what we used to know as HBO boxing. I'm done.